All right, guys, welcome back. So that was Good Country People, and essentially what we have here is mainly two unique characters that we are going to discuss for our purposes today. Number one, let's talk about Joy / Olga. Let's talk about her for a moment. When we meet her, she's very dark, depressing, obviously lonely, not real happy, obviously, with her mother, lives with her mom. A very interesting relationship all by itself. We could talk about that, but we're not going to because we're focusing on that, of course, being Olga I'm just going to call her Joy, and Manly. First off, let's talk about Joy. She is very dark, very depressed, thinks she kind of has it all figured out, very nihilistic, very what's the point of all of this, educated, obviously intelligent, but very dark, very... very downright depressing. And what we really got her here is her just kind of floating around through life, just kind of being present without actually existing, or vice versa, existing but not actually being present, if you know what I mean. There but not really there with the rest of us, as it were. Very condescending when we see her with her mother, very rude almost, and then we have the introduction of, let's go ahead and talk about him, Manly Pointer. Alright, so obviously that is an alias. It's obviously a joke, like you would do a prank call. His name, Manly Pointer, obviously, haha, funny. But he himself is introduced as what we call, or what they call, Good Country People, and that, of course, the implication being he's uneducated, he is lower, he is not as knowledgeable, he's a little bit ignorant, and that's exactly how Joy treats him through a good portion of the story. And then we find out it's very the opposite. He is a con man. He is very smooth, he is very articulate in his, I guess you could say, seduction of Joy, and he has this strange, obsession with getting over on the less fortunate, or people he deems that he needs to do that to. It's really kind of sad, but there's this switch that we have. Joy right here thinking she is the intellectual better, that she is the one in control of this relationship, and where she thinks Manly is right here, and then by the end of it that has switched into which that he is the one that's taking advantage, he was the one in control, he was the one that seduced the whole situation with, telling me you love me, I know you love me, those kinds of things, and he gets her to do it, asserting that control over her. And then obviously taking off with her leg, which, out of nowhere that comes. You can see it coming, but the first time you read it, even then you are shocked of that it's occurred. It is a very enjoyable story because it really messes with our emotions. But we are very fascinated by Joy and her darkness. We are very fascinated by Manly and his con, his charm, and all of those things. And obviously he doesn't use it for the appropriate way. He could be one heck of a politician if he wanted to, but instead he wants to steal eyeballs or glass eyes, and legs from women, and it's frankly really kind of interesting. They're not the most strong characters. What I mean by that is they're not superheroes. They're not the most influential characters, as they're not creating new worlds or sailing on vast oceans or doing this, that, and the other. But they're very interesting because what we've got is characters that are interacting with each other in such a way that we want to read more, in such a way that they leave an impression on us for whatever reason. If it's dark humor, which is very much, in my opinion, what this story is, if it's comical, if it's dramatic, but we're addicted to that uniqueness in that scenario. more specifically, those people. And we like reading how they interact with each other, because what we really want to know is what's Joy going to do now? How's she going to get home? What's she going to say when she gets home and talks to her mom? And what is going to happen to her next? Even though we don't know, even though we will never find out, we still enjoyed the story, or more specifically, the road it took to get there in learning about those people. And so hopefully that you like that story. Hopefully you reacted to it, whether positive or negative. I don't want you to say, "Oh my God, I love that story." Hopefully you did. But if you say, discuss specifically what you took away from that story in regards to a unique character. What stuck out about Manly? What stuck out about Joy? I mean, what was it? Why are we fascinated by these characters? Why are they still studied in college classes around the United States today? And that's what I want you to do. Think about that. Now, underneath this video is your first blog. And I want you to pay attention to responding to it, okay? You'll be given a prompt, okay? It's written, it's there, it's present, but I want you to take time, read each part of that carefully. Because if you don't adhere to all of the blog and answer all of the questions, or at least somehow address them, that's an incomplete. What I mean by that is you'll get credit for it and everything like that, but you've not completed your goal. And each blog might have more than one part to it. It's not going to be one question, what did you think? And then you go on. It's going to be specific areas of attack I want you to get into. So take your time with that. Read it carefully, just so that you know. And it's in the prompt, and it's in the other stuff. But a paragraph in our class, in any of my classes, is at least 5 sentences. All right? Anything that it's just not a paragraph. So most of these blog responses are going to be somewhere between 2 and 3 paragraphs. I'll specify per blog response, and then get that done and reflect on it. And this is really, the blogs are really just kind of there to put our thoughts on paper about what we internalized and processed about that one story. And each story will have a blog. Each story will have some small quiz. I think this one for Good Country People immediately after your blog is 10 questions, 10 easy questions. For one for the road, it's only 5. So that will vary. But do be aware of that, okay? So hopefully write your blog, take the quiz, and move on to our very next story, which I'll be starting the video for that here in a moment, which is Stephen King's One for the Road. All right, good job, guys.